This is News 8 Now, this morning.
We know we have the right tools in front of us right now is to make sure that we are getting vaccinated. So that way we don't see a large number of cases like the Southern Hemisphere did.
We have not added officers in 25 years. Our population has gone up quite a bit since then. From our fire department's perspective, they actually have fewer firefighter EMTs now than what we had in 2000.
And some of us have still been here for a long time. We've called it home. And so by the Parks Department asking us to help with this, it really means a lot that they're respecting us and helping us to find a way to celebrate those of us who are still here.
We're providing education on healthy eating, healthy living, good hand washing, even a little growth anatomy today.
Well, a good Tuesday morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us here on News 8 Now this morning. I'm Jordan Fremstad.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
Well, the fall colors, they're popping.
They're in full swing.
Now, if you want to do some photography, now's the time to do it.
Now is the time to do it. In fact, I took some pictures over the weekend, Jordan. Phenomenal. Gorgeous colors. I love it up here in the Midwest during this time of year.
And we usually don't get it quite as bright as the north.
You're right.
But this year, I think it's going to be a little bit different, a little more moisture in the ground for sure.
Exactly.
And there might be some moisture in the air tonight, and not the kind we like to talk about.
No, because that could lead to some thunderstorms, and that's something that we'll have to keep our eyes on here, especially later tonight. As of right now, though, things are looking pretty quiet. Our satellite and radar picture showing that there's barely any clouds in the air, and that's all thanks to some drier air in the atmosphere to kind of work with us this morning. But there are some showers and thunderstorms that could develop towards the west and move in later tonight. More on that a little bit later. But as you step outside the door, we're currently into those upper 40s in the Coulee region, especially La Crosse, Winona, 48 to 49 degrees here. Sparta's at 54, much warmer though. Black River Falls at 32 degrees, and Viroqua is at 50. Overall, this is about a 10 to 15 degrees or so of a warmer difference compared to what just happened yesterday morning. In fact, areas like Sparta about 25 degrees warmer than yesterday, and in Eau Claire over 15 degrees warmer than yesterday as well. As far as your day planner is concerned, the rest of the day looking mainly sunny, and look at the temperatures warming up into the 60s by 11, followed by the low 70s at 1. We could be as warm as 76 degrees though come the 3 o'clock hour. So overall, a very mostly sunny and just overall very warm day, especially for this time of the year, Jordan. We'll talk about where our averages here stand for this time of the year and when we can expect our next cool down. Plus, of course, can't forget about those storm chances. That's all coming up in the full weather forecast.
No, we'll stay weather aware this morning. Thanks a lot, Derek. Well, Monday marked Indigenous Peoples Day, and for the first time, La Crosse is celebrating at Burns Park. The celebration included traditional crafts and games. La Crosse is one of the Ho-Chunk Nation's original villages. Members of the nation say this year's event and the city's official proclamation of Indigenous Peoples Day is a sign of respect to those who have lived in the area for centuries.
And some of us have still been here for a long time. We've called it home. And so by the Parks Department asking us to help with this, it really means a lot that they're respecting us and helping us to find a way to celebrate those of us who are still here.
Monday's events started off with the raising of the Ho-Chunk Nation's flag at La Crosse City Hall. Members of the Ho-Chunk Nation say that Indigenous Peoples Day is also about raising everyone's awareness to tribal history.
There were a lot of harsh realities that the Ho-Chunk Nation and the people have faced, and just honestly, finally getting it out there and letting the people know.
This was the 5th year La Crosse officially marked Indigenous Peoples Day. Bank workers across the U.S. took off for Indigenous Peoples Day. However, employees of Infinity Plus in Winona and all across Minnesota used their day off to plus it forward. Their day was jam-packed with volunteer work, like serving a pancake breakfast, doing yard work for refugee families, hosting a clothing drive, and simply doing random acts of kindness.
We could certainly just take the day off and hang at home, but it's important to who we are as an organization to spread kindness in our communities. And our intention is that we want people to feel our love and our appreciation, and then in turn show that to other people.
Branches of Infinity Plus have been plussing it forward for 10 years now. Last year, 2,300 people dedicated their day to spreading kindness. Giving back does not stop there. Ultra Federal Credit Union gave back to folks across the area and the nation in the company's 5th annual Ultra Gives Back Day. In Coon Valley, Ultra volunteers helped out at Horse Sense. That's a nonprofit that provides relaxing horseback riding lessons for people of all abilities. Ultra's president and CEO said Monday was important for everyone involved.
There's a lot of, unsung heroes out there doing great work, and we use this day to give back to them and help them do what they do. And again, I think it's kind of makes everyone feel good about what they're doing, and it's kind of what Ultra's all about.
Volunteers helped Horse Sense prepare for their Fall Harvest Festival by painting their barn and mulching. The event will be Horse Sense's first since 2019. Understanding fire safety is important for the whole family, and students at Emerson Elementary learned how to protect their family during a fire. The La Crosse Fire Department is visiting 20 area schools for Fire Prevention Week. Kids at Emerson Elementary learned tools for fire safety like the classic stop, drop, and roll, and toured the brand new fire safety simulator. For the fire department, when learning lessons like these, sooner is better.
If that lighter or those matches or a candle is around, they just want to play with it. And telling them now how dangerous it can be will prevent, hopefully as they get older, them doing something that is going to hurt themselves or somebody else.
Firefighters will continue to meet with students until next Tuesday. Cold and flu season is on the way, and experts predict this season will be more severe than the last two. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen explains why doctors say it is so important to get your flu shot.
It's always hard to really kind of pin down what each flu season is going to be like.
But experts say this year is different.
People haven't really been infected as much with the flu the past couple of years because the past 2 years have been so mild. So we don't really have the antibodies circulating around like we would have in previous years.
The temperature is dropping and viruses are spreading.
Definitely an uptake in just viral illnesses in general. So not even necessarily COVID or influenza, but just random viruses.
Though infection isn't predicted to be any worse, it may spread quicker.
It all really centers around the fact that we just aren't wearing masks anymore.
And as more and more people go mask-free, experts want you to be prepared.
We know we have the right tools in front of us right now is to make sure that we are getting vaccinated so that way we don't see a large number of cases like the Southern Hemisphere did.
Experts at both Mayo and Gunderson encourage vaccination, even though half of American adults don't plan on getting one.
Overall, we've always had a hard time across the U.S. of getting people to get their flu shot. We've always aimed for 70%, but at most it's always been 47%.
Experts say there are benefits to getting the vaccine, especially this year.
That helps protect yourself, also protects other people that might be more vulnerable to getting the flu.
And they say the best time to get it is now.
October is one of the best times to get the flu shot because we want to make sure that people are vaccinated before the flu season begins.
In La Crosse, Emily Haugen, News 8 Now.
Doctors also recommend practicing good hand washing and staying home when you're sick and considering masking in heavily populated areas. All of those efforts on top of vaccination can help reduce the spread. Well, it is Wisconsin Science Festival Week, and kids at Northside Elementary are getting a taste of the medical field. Doctors, nurses, and other staff from Gunderson Health System taught students about germs, vaccines, and anatomy. Kids also got to go inside an ambulance and check out the St. Clair Mobile Clinic. Health system leaders hope these experiences stick with the students.
One, we're providing education on healthy eating, healthy living, good hand washing, even a little gross anatomy today. And two, we hope to maybe inspire some of our young kids to consider fields of medicine down the road.
The group will be traveling to a few other schools during Wisconsin Science Fest Week. Local organizations are trying to recruit more people into the social services field. The Reach Center, Cooley Cap, YWCA, and other organizations partnered to host a professional job fair on Monday. Organizers say the current staffing shortage has forced some service organizations to close earlier than normal, limiting the amount of people they can help each day. Through the job fair, organizers hope they can avoid having to make those difficult choices in the future.
We know that our partners are also feeling the crunch of not having enough staff. So it was an idea to come together as a group to, again, try to attract people to our field.
The fair featured normal job interviews and general one-on-one time with current social service employees to offer a descriptive window into day-to-day work. Still to come on your Tuesday morning news, Amazon is investing almost $1 billion in new electric vehicles for deliveries. We'll explain just ahead. And you could see gas hit the $4 mark at the pump again. How long gas could stay at $4 and more after the break. With that in mind, we are sending you to break with something to put the good in your Tuesday morning. Pumpkins in all shapes and sizes came to be weighed. Big, small, some reaching over 500 pounds. Check out this one. A teacher from Minnesota set a new U.S. record on Monday for the heaviest pumpkin after weighing in at 2,560 pounds. Travis of Anoka, Minnesota set the new record and won an annual pumpkin weighing contest in Northern California at the 49th World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off. The most impressive thing about that is how they got it out there. No clue. It's 10 after the hour. Your latest forecast is just ahead here on News 8 Now this morning. We'll be right back right after this.
That was a quiet look there from City Cam 8, and you can see that here on the satellite picture, looking mainly dry and stable here this morning with temperatures into the upper 40s to low 50s, but much colder temperature readings being observed in Black River Falls at 32 for you this morning, right at the freezing mark too. As your zone forecast today in La Crosse County shows us that highs will reach the upper 70s today. A very warm and mainly sunny day is in store here all across the area with 75 in Lafarge today, 77 this afternoon in Stoddard, 76 as well in Gaze Mills. And as we head towards our central zones, Trempealeau looking at a high of 78, Warren's Day at 76, Alma Center at 76 as well, Whitehall, Blair, Melrose, all looking at 77 degrees this afternoon. 76 today in Chippewa, Eau Claire, and also Altoona, Fall Creek, 76 as well, 75, and lots of sunshine for Thorpe today. And for your schoolcast, 49 degrees and clear, 69, and mostly sunny for your lunch hour. Looking at mostly sunny for the afternoon too, with temperatures at around 75 degrees for dismissal. I'll be back with a check on your full weather forecast in just a bit.
Amazon plans to invest nearly $1 billion in electric vehicles for its European fleet. The company says the investment is part of its goal to produce net zero carbon emissions by the year 2040. We'll get to your forecast in just a second. It would increase Amazon's fleet from 3,000 to at least 10,000 electric delivery vans by the year 2020. Or by the year 2040, I should say. Now, the company also plans to deliver more packages by e-cargo bikes and on foot through centrally located delivery hubs. A gallon of regular could hit $4 in most of the country this week, but there is some good news. Prices might not stay there long. Officials are reminding people that several West Coast refineries have been offline because of accidents or maintenance, and now that they're back up and running, the price of gas in western states is already falling. Experts say if you're seeing $4 gas prices, they should be down by next week. The U.S. could be on the verge of losing tens of thousands of jobs. Bank of America warns the Federal Reserve's aggressive inflation-reducing policies could also slow the job market. The company says the economy could start losing 175,000 jobs a month throughout most of next year. Bank of America believes a recession will begin in the first half of next year. The latest trend in saving the planet is a tasty one. Worldwide companies are making our straws, cups, and even utensils edible. Naomi Ruckham shows us more delicious ways to go green.
For catering business Bartleby and Sage, their famous mac and cheese is always a hit. What makes the dish so special? It's served on a spoon you can eat.
So we're talking mac and cheese with 5 cheeses on a cheese-flavored spoon.
Yes, so you kind of have to love cheese.
I do. All right, cheers. Cheers.
Boston area company Edibles by Jack makes the spoons, which come in 18 flavors from savory to sweet.
People are choosing these products because the client themselves want something sustainable, want something fun that elevates their menu.
And the caterers believe they serve up a double dose of delicious and practical.
We were an early adapter because we just thought that was a great way to serve the food, and you can also eat the spoon, and then your waiters don't have to go around picking up the dirty spoons.
Other brands around the world are launching their own innovative ways to bite the utensil that feeds you. These edible straws from Sorbos are completely biodegradable and last in cold drinks for up to 40 minutes.
The water is definitely still water, but they have the little aftertaste of the strawberry. It's like candy.
Italian coffee maker Lavazza has made an espresso treat that comes in an edible cookie cup. And a company called Incredible Eats sells spoons and forks with flavors like chocolate, vanilla, oregano chili, and black pepper.
Not bad. Like a cracker.
You'll have to fork out extra cash for an edible utensil, priced from 25 cents each to more than $1. Compare that to standard plasticware, which costs as little as 4 cents a piece.
Is it something you would pay extra for?
Maybe, yeah.
And while an edible spoon may not replace your plastic one just yet, the hope is to take a small bite out of climate change.
I'm still wondering if I'm eating a pint of ice cream, is that spoon going to hold up? Food for thought. Nonetheless, according to the latest data from the Environmental Protection Agency, landfills took in 27 million tons of plastic in 2018, so perhaps this is a potential solution to that problem.
Well, it sure is a nice clear start all across the Coulee region as we take a quick check now on your satellite and radar picture. But widening out the view, though, you can see that we're under the influence of this trough of low pressure back towards the west. That's why it's so warm, because we're looking at a pretty warm south wind right now associated with this cold front and overall that trough of low pressure here as it continues to close in on our location. And overall, it's helping to warm us up quite a bit. In fact, we're about 10 to 15 degrees warmer compared to just the last 24 hours from yesterday morning. In fact, Sparta is 25 degrees warmer this morning compared to just yesterday. Overall now in La Crosse, it's 49 degrees. In fact, here in downtown, it's 54. A light southeast wind helping out too at around 3 miles an hour. River Stage is at 4.86 feet. Temperatures as you head out the door are mainly into those upper 40s to low 50s. 50 now in Winona, and temperatures in Eau Claire are at 53 degrees. Yesterday's high temperature was pretty mild at 72, but check out what happens today. Our high temperature, 78 degrees, only 2 degrees shy of reaching 80 degrees. Now, if you're wondering, are we going to break record high temperatures today? I don't think so. 86 degrees is the record high today, set back in 1928. But our low temperature this morning of 44 will also put us above average here as well. Check out the forecast high temperatures this afternoon into those mid to upper 70s. Going to be a very warm day all across the area with highs flirting near those 80-degree marks in many spots. 67 and mostly sunny by noon today. Very warm, 74 degrees, mostly sunny at 5, and only a few clouds here this evening. Temperatures at around 66 degrees. But later on tonight, between 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., we're going to have to watch out for the possibility of isolated strong to severe thunderstorms that could contain some gusty winds and maybe even some hail around here as well. And then again, that's all thanks to that trough of low pressure that we're watching. It is going to bring us a warm front as it begins to move in by tonight, and that could give way to a strong line of showers and thunderstorms reaching us as early as midnight tonight. And it looks like it will move through as we head to the overnight. But if you notice, as it moves through, it does begin to weaken. So some trends here that we're keeping our eyes on in case the severe weather threat may have to be lowered, but we will be looking at some isolated pockets of rain here still moving through portions of the area for tomorrow morning and also into tomorrow afternoon as well. And in fact, that could even linger into tomorrow evening too. And then as we head into early Thursday, that's when we can expect some much cooler air to move into the area, which is really going to knock down our temperatures quite a bit. In fact, you'll see that by Thursday, we're only at 55 and then 49 degrees come Friday. And then temperatures will warm back up into the 50s later this week, as you can see there, and also on the 8-day forecast after getting through a pretty cloudy end to the work week, and then skies turning mostly sunny as we head into Saturday. But highs remain to the 50s this weekend and also into next week. Stay with us, though. Much more news and weather still to come right here on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with a look at what happened on this day in history. We'll be right back. this morning, and the indications are that conditions will continue to remain that way throughout the rest of the day as well. Quick check now on your satellite and radar picture. Looking quiet here this morning all across the area, with current readings as you head out the door into the upper 40s to low 50s this morning. Temperature in Eau Claire is 53. In Sparta, you're looking at 54 degrees. Dog walking conditions look good with clear skies in place. Mostly sunny and warm this afternoon, and then by this evening, skies still remain mainly clear. As far as the mowing forecast goes, we plan on doing that here today. 50 degrees and clear, 63 and sunny by 11. Mostly sunny conditions at 3 with temperatures at around 76 degrees. Stay tuned. I'll have another check on your commute forecast in just a bit.
Welcome to the Blitz. We made it to the final week of the Wisconsin high school football regular season. It honestly feels like it just started. The season flew by for us here at News 8, but still a lot of great matchups coming up this Friday. Some big rivalry games, especially the one going down at Logan High School, a battle of two crosstown rivals. For the Riverhawks, they'll be looking to keep the arc of victory in their possession. Central winning last year's matchup 42-20 in the final week of the regular season. As for this season, the Riverhawks come into this one with a record of 3-5 on the year. They've won 2 of their last 3 to get to this point. Most recently, a dominant win over Sparta last week. So not only bragging rights are on the line, maybe a spot in the playoffs as well. But the Riverhawks know this game not only means a lot to the community, it means a lot to them too.
You know, you try to not make it any bigger than it is, but the reality is that it is the biggest game on our schedule, and the one that, you know, all of our kids always have circled on the calendars as soon as it comes out every year. We're going to do our best to treat it as another game, but it's a big one, and everybody knows that.
It's a big rivalry, you know, they're crosstown rivals, you know, every time you go over to the north side, you're like, oh, you know, north side now, you know, so you've known those guys growing up, playing them through all sorts of sports, you know, especially football, so big competition, you know, and really good rivalry.
On the north side of town, the Rangers are also fighting for a playoff spot, and they'll need to win the Arc on Friday night if they want a chance at getting in. Logan also won it in 2021 during the alternate spring season that happened because of COVID. Before that, you'd have to go back to 2016 for a Rangers victory. It's a rivalry that brings a lot of pride to the schools, and a win would mean everything.
This game means so much to the kids in this city and to the people that have gone to school at each place. There's so much history around it. It's just it's a big time game, and we don't need to ramp anybody up for it because everybody already is.
We take a lot of pride in it. Winning it a couple years back really was good for our school, and we really want to get it again this year.
It all goes down this Friday night. Riverhawks and Rangers, 7 p.m. at Logan High School. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Breaking overnight, at least 14 people are dead and 97 wounded after a Russian missile strikes in Ukraine. They hit residential areas during the morning rush. The U.S. is working with allies to craft a unified response. Today, President Joe Biden is meeting virtually with other government leaders. President Biden says additional support packages for Ukraine are likely in the near future. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol has announced a date for its next public hearing. It is scheduled now for October 13th at 12 p.m. Central Time. The committee was originally set to hold a public hearing at the end of September but had to cancel due to Hurricane Ian. This will be the panel's 10th hearing. The topic that will be discussed has not yet been announced. According to online court records, La Crosse Assemblywoman Jill Billings owes the state more than $10,000 in unpaid income tax, interest, and penalties. Now, the Department of Revenue filed lien against Billings back in January and then filed a warrant 6 months later in June. Billings represents the city of La Crosse and the towns of Shelby and Campbell. We asked Representative Billings about the tax warrant. Her staff sent us this statement. It says, "A mistake was made, paperwork was missed, and my income taxes were late. The taxes and fees owed have been paid in full to the Department of Revenue." Now, this morning, online records still show Billings' income taxes have not been paid. We asked the Department of Revenue if they can prove Billings paid her outstanding taxes, but by law they cannot do that. And we asked Representative Billings to share any documents she has proving her taxes have been paid. She has yet to respond. Early voting begins this week in several states for the November midterms, and new polling shows economy remains a top issue for most voters. With inflation reaching its highest level in decades and fears of a recession, Natalie Brand visited a swing district to get a sense of how voters and small business owners are feeling about the economy ahead of the midterm election.
So here we have about 40, 50 pieces of salmon, which 2 years ago would cost me about $4 a portion. And now they're up to $6, maybe $7.
Tony Stafford says prices have gone up so fast he can't print menus at Ford's Fish Shack in Northern Virginia.
It's just every day or every week. Sometimes I pick up the phone to find another shortage or something that's doubled in price.
He's been in the restaurant business 27 years, and like other small business owners, inflation is top of mind as they work to build back after the pandemic.
We went through a period of time where there was literally no predicting how much our food cost was going to climb.
Angela Goodman of Famous Toastery in Ashburn considers the economy her top issue ahead of the midterms.
I employ a staff of over 30 people, and I worry about their families, and I worry about how I'm going to provide them a paycheck to put food on their family's table.
It's also a driving factor for Andrew Yateman and Jack Rosenquist, two friends catching up over a lunch that now costs more.
My wife and I are looking at retirement and trying to figure out how to do it in this economy, and it's challenging.
Which party do you believe is better to handle the economy?
Republican.
You can't blame it all on the Biden administration.
Virginia resident Roland Dedman is also worried about rising costs.
With Medicare, I'm paying for 2 prescriptions. It's $300 a month.
He thinks the newly passed Inflation Reduction Act could eventually lower his health bills and wants Democrats to stay in control.
There are a lot of things I don't like on the left, but there's more that I don't like on the absolute ultra right.
The last 8 to 12 years of election cycles, it has just been the blame game, and I don't appreciate any of that.
Goodman's restaurant sits in a battleground district. She wants to hear more specifics from the candidates.
I don't think that they have enough window into the real crisis out there, especially in this county, of people who can't afford to put food on their own table.
She hopes that changes with less than a month until Election Day.
A CBS News poll taken in late September found that among voters who think the economy is very important, they believe Republican candidates are talking about immigration and President Biden more than their economic policies. Well, the city of Eau Claire is asking voters to approve a referendum to increase taxes and use that money to hire more public safety workers. The Eau Claire police chief says over the past 10 years, calls for service have gone up nearly 70%. The city wants to hire 6 more police officers, firefighter paramedics, 2 civilian community service officers, and 1 civilian to help support dispatch. The chief says the lack of staff affects response times. The stopping Wisconsin voters from canceling their absentee ballot and casting a new one has been put on hold. A Wisconsin appeals court is blocking last week's lower court decision by former Attorney General Brad Schimel. Schimel sided with a conservative group calling the process of ballot spoiling illegal. The Wisconsin Elections Commission is arguing municipal clerks should be allowed to issue guidance to voters on ballot spoiling. The commission held an emergency session on Monday to discuss Schimel's ruling. The commission adjourned without taking any official action. There is no decision on how to handle election observers due to gridlock among the Wisconsin Election Commission members. The bipartisan group was split on how to advise state election officials on how to handle election observers. Republicans wanted to send clerks a list of what observers can do. Democrats said parts of the list strayed from state law. Now we have more information on what the law actually allows observers to do. You can find that at news8000.com. The Minnesota Department of Transportation is launching a pilot program that will help people get around. The fleet of 5 self-driving shuttles, which includes 3 wheelchair-accessible vehicles, will allow transportation to become more accessible to people who may not have had a chance before.
These free on-demand shuttles will make a real difference by making it easier to get around town. Go Marty will give seniors and people with disabilities increased access to the transit services they depend on.
These vans will be free for riders for 18 months, and they say if you don't have the app, well, it's no problem. You can call 211 and schedule a ride. One of the first people a child sees on their school day is their bus driver. And some lacrosse students also see their bus driver in the classroom. And for October's Top Notch Teacher, we introduce you to a teacher who drives home life's lessons for a special group of kids.
School days begin with a ride.
It's almost cathartic.
Dawn Martin shares this morning experience with students.
Going down.
Because she follows them from the bus to the classroom.
I've known I wanted to be a teacher since I was in first grade. Hey, Mr. Peter.
Her inspiration learned from the 1969 show Room 222 with Karen Valentine.
And the more you advertise, the more you sell, right?
And she was Miss Johnson, and my maiden name is Johnson, so I wanted to be a teacher like Miss Johnson.
Now her name has a place outside a door to her very own classroom.
That history test, so we have to review for.
A home for children with special needs.
So the whole sentence from the capital letter to the period. And we don't ever underestimate their abilities. Question number 3, Alicia.
Dawn understands these children.
Who are the people doing the waiting? And make them as independent in their lives as they can be to help themselves and to help some of them, their caregivers.
When you ask Dawn what she gets out of this.
I get emotional.
For Dawn, every student gets an invitation.
Are you counting as you're going around? It warms my heart every day.
Everyone's invited to a life after high school.
I know, fun, huh? So much fun.
With retirement coming around the corner, Dawn can't leave these kids behind.
I can still keep driving the bus, and I can still see the kids.
36 years as a teacher.
This concludes my normal day. Yeah.
And 1 year behind the wheel.
I love what I do. I love these kids.
With every mile, Dawn drives home children with the fuel they need to start their own adult lives.
You just have to not give up.
This is Jordan Fremstead, News 8 Now, La Crosse.
We need more people like Dawn in the world, for sure. Well, Dawn hasn't said when she'll retire, but when she does, she says she'll continue to substitute teach and drive the bus.
Skies looking clear here this morning all across the area with current temperature readings mainly into the upper 40s to low 50s. 53 in Eau Claire now and 49 degrees currently in La Crosse. We got 54 in Sparta and 50 degrees the temperature currently in Viroqua. For today, 78 degrees, making it very warm. Mostly sunny skies. A south wind breezy at 15 to 25 miles an hour. For tonight, we dropped to 57 degrees with a chance of some scattered thunderstorms here, especially overnight. Overall, mild conditions, south-southwest winds at around 10 to 20 miles an hour. As far as your drivecast here this morning, lots of sunshine and then mainly clear skies here for your lunch hour as well. Looking at your evening commute, good too. Mostly sunny conditions overall, pretty quiet conditions throughout the day and mild. Stay tuned. I'll have a final check on your weather forecast in just a bit. Jordan?
Thanks a lot, Derek. Well, Winona is welcoming a storytelling festival to the city for the first time. Coming up, we will speak with the president of the Sandbar Storytelling Festival organization about what events you can expect this weekend. That's right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are switching things up today and starting off with Look Who's 8.
Yes, happy 8th birthday to Easton. Easton loves all things sports, especially football and hockey.
And we want to wish a happy birthday to Eleanor today. She turns 100 years old. Eleanor is a Chaseburg native who is hoping to receive 100 cards for her 100th birthday. Eleanor, I hope we helped you out here this morning.
Such an accomplishment. Happy birthday, Eleanor. If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80 years old, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, you're just going to upload their photo to our website at news8000.com, and you're going to look under the Home tab on our website to submit your photo. So in our Buzz Report this morning, we have Taff Roberts joining us today, who is the president with the Sandbar Storytelling Festival Group this weekend, and it marks the first Sandbar Storytelling Festival in Winona this weekend. So thank you so much for joining us today. One thing we're going to do We're going to turn your microphone on. It always helps to have your audio and technology working. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Jordan.
Well, tell us a little bit about the festival and what people can expect.
The festival is going to be a 3-day event, and the tellers are coming up on Thursday, and they're going to be in the school systems in Winona in that area. And there'll be 5 of them. They'll be in the school systems, and then there will be on Friday afternoon there will be performances at St. Mary's University in Winona, and in the evening there'll be music also. In the evening at 7 o'clock we'll have Ghost Nights.
Very nice.
That's this Friday.
Awesome.
And the 5 tellers will be on the stage telling ghost stories, and their job is to make sure that they scare the hell out of you.
We love being scared. I love a good ghost story.
And then on Saturday night, main event is Fun Night, and they'll all be up on stage. But there's a lot more going on too.
Okay.
Nice. So what was that whole process like of gathering all those storytellers in Winona?
Well, that's interesting because when we looked into this, I called up all over the country to find other festivals.
Right.
And those festivals where the first one I called was Jonesboro, Tennessee, which is the largest storytelling festival in North America, which happened this last weekend.
Okay.
And 4 of those people that were down there performing will be coming up to Winona. And the second largest one in the country is in Leahy, Utah, Timpanogos Storytelling Festival. And I was invited there by the executive director last September to the festival, and she put me up with the storytellers.
Wow.
And I got to know them. And they said, you're starting a festival in Minnesota? We want to be there. Yeah. So we've got 5 of the top tellers in the country that are going to come here. They're actually on their way right now, and they'll be here, and then they'll be in the school systems for 2 days, and then on Friday and Saturday, we'll have performances, we'll have food trucks, we'll have music, and we'll have a competition at college level. The first prize is $300, $200, and $100, and that will be for people to compete against each other to tell stories. They have 5 minutes to tell a story, and the person who gets the first gets on the main stage on Saturday night with the main tellers.
And Taff, we get to tell stories as professional journalists. What does it mean to just be a part of storytelling, just as an art form?
Storytelling is such a powerful form of telling your story. Since television came along, before that it was all oral. And now the thing about storytelling is it creates imagination, and we have to capture this in young people, today, because everything is so visual, everything is right in front of you. But when you tell stories, you have to paint a picture, you have to imagine, you have to create something. And these people that are coming here are the top level of storytellers. They will make you laugh, they will make you cry, they'll frighten the hell out of you, and it creates that kind of. Now also storytelling also brings out, it's a form of healing. It educates a teacher. One of the best things a teacher can do is to tell a story, not just a history facts, just tell a story and they will understand. Now on my way down here, down the river this morning, I was just thinking about my father. He was in the prisoner of war camp in Germany for 5 years. He never told his story. We found his diary after he passed away.
Oh, wow.
That story is there. Now it's in a museum, but I just wonder what a different person he would have been if he had shared that stories.
Sure.
Vets today, they need to share the stories. There need to be somebody to listen to the story.
Yeah. Well, it's a powerful story. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Ted. We're out of time, unfortunately. We'll be right back right after this. Your morning news now on this Tuesday. Monday marked Indigenous Peoples Day, and for the first time, lacrosse celebrated at Burns Park. The celebration included traditional crafts and games. Lacrosse is one of the Ho-Chunk Nation's original villages. Members of the nation say this year's event and the city's official proclamation of Indigenous Peoples Day is a sign of respect to those who have lived in the area for centuries.
Some of us have still been here for a long time. We've called it home, and so by the Parks Department asking us to help with this, it really means a lot that they're respecting us and helping us to find a way to celebrate those of us who are still here.
Monday's events started off with the raising of the Ho-Chunk Nation's flag at La Crosse's City Hall. Members of the Ho-Chunk Nation say that Indigenous Peoples Day is also about raising everyone's awareness of tribal history.
there were a lot of harsh realities that the Ho-Chunk Nation and the people have faced. And just honestly, finally getting it out there and letting the people know.
This was the 5th year La Crosse officially marked Indigenous Peoples Day. Bank workers across the U.S. took off for Indigenous Peoples Day. However, employees at Infinity Plus in Winona and all across Minnesota used their day off to plus it forward. Their day was jam-packed with volunteer work, like serving a pancake breakfast, doing yard work for refugee families, hosting a clothing drive, and simply doing random acts of kindness.
A few clouds this morning, overall mostly clear, and it looks like the mainly sunny weather conditions will continue throughout the day today, with temperatures, especially during the afternoon, warming up into those mid to upper 70s today.
It is Wisconsin Science Festival week, and kids at Northside Elementary are getting a taste of the medical field. Doctors, nurses, and other staff from Gunderson Health System taught students about germs, vaccines, and anatomy. Kids also got to go inside an ambulance and check out the St. Clair Mobile Clinic. Local organizations are trying to recruit more people into the social services field. The Reach Center, Cooley Cap, YWCA, and other organizations partnered to host a professional job fair this week. Organizers say the current staffing shortage has forced some service organizations to close earlier than normal, limiting the amount of people they can help each day. Through the job fair, organizers hope they can avoid having to make those difficult choices in the future.
And as you head out the door this morning, temperatures are in the low 50s around the 8 o'clock hour, 67 and mostly sunny at noon. 5 p.m. still looking good, mainly clear, 74 degrees, but our high today should reach 78. Also pretty breezy this afternoon out of the south at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Enjoy it while you can, because after that, it's pretty much downhill from here, Jordan. Over the next several days, temperatures begin to cool down.
So if we got things going on after school today, should be okay.
Should be okay. And then tonight, don't forget we have that chance of thunderstorms, and Bill Grohl will be back tonight to keep you weather aware and exactly what's going on as it begins to unfold.
The Newsday Now First Alert weather app. It's going to be your friend, and it's free.
Yes, exactly.
We like free things right there.
Absolutely. Download it on the Apple App Store and the Google Play.
All right. Thanks a lot. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it as always. Stay tuned to our website at news8000.com for the latest news and weather information. And of course, we'll be back with you this afternoon at noon to update you on everything going on in your community. We hope you have a great day. CBS Mornings follows us here.